Hi there, Trevor Duke with First Mate Yacht Care. Today we're going to go over how to buff a boat. We're up in Wallstrom Marine at Harbor Springs right now. This is a 55 Grand Banks. It's a 2008. Great blue gel coat. The boat's only 3.5 years old, so it's not a particularly aged boat, and the boat's been pretty well maintained. With this blue gel coat, if you take good care of it, but sometimes if you don't buff it and wax it enough, it can slowly oxidize, and if you watch it all together, you don't really see it happening in front of you, so you don't see the slow fade. We have been buffing this boat. We got some great photos of before and afters of the back. We'll try and splice those into the video so you can see those. I think we'll be able to see a great difference here once we do this test spot. Just to go over the materials we're working with here, we're using 3M Imperial today. That's part number 06045 for the gallon. I think it's 46 for the quart. This is pretty good stuff. They used to do 3M Perfected. That had a little too much benzene in it. The Department of Transportation didn't like them shipping that all over the place, so they made the formula a little softer. That's what this is. We use quite a few different compounds. This is a very good one, not our total favorite, but good stuff here. To go along with that, we're using the 3M foam compounding pad, also known as a Waffle Pad. It's got the raised waffles, great for moving around compound, just enough friction, just enough heat. This is part number 05723. They sell them in a 2-pack. If it looks a little different when you buy it, they're stuck together. So, I've got my Imperial in a little ketchup bottle to make it easier to apply. You'll have to excuse us with the light and the dark. I hope it comes out in the video. I'm just going to get my rag here, and you're going to get a nice even coat on. If you have any dry spots, when the buffer hits those dry spots, it can heat up. Too much friction, just the pad on the gel, and if you heat that gel too much, it will burn the gel. It'll yellow or orange the gel, so we don't want that. Another thing to consider, that what makes these 3M products and a few of the other compounds we use so good is they're diminishing abrasive. If you put it in your hands, it feels really gritty. It's got some large beads in it. I believe they're silicone beads. The more you work those break down. So it starts as if you're sanding it with 1200 grit, and then as you work those beads in, they break themselves down, gets up to 15, 1800, 2000, all the way up till you've fully worked the compound. So instead of the old days where you'd have to use a real heavy grit compound, then a medium grit, then a light grit to get those heavy scratches, hit it with a medium to polish it up, and then a light to finish it off, you can use 1 or 2 compounds, and it really saves you a lot of time. The buffer we're using, this is our Makita. We have Hitachi, DeWalt. We really like these buffers. Hitachi's my personal favorite. We like to use these at about 1800 RPMs. As long as they have enough torque, unless you go to Harbor Freight or somewhere, you get a really cheap Asian buffer. It should never die on you. Okay, when I'm buffing this, I'm going to try and use smooth, slow strokes. If you jump around a little bit, you'll have swirl marks. I'm going to try and work the compound, really move it around. You don't want to do a typewriter style either. If you do that, there's a really distinct swirl mark pattern that I was actually seeing over here. So kind of mix it up. We like to do little half moons, move all the compound. Take a look. See there how I was using a few different angles of attack. I'd start going side to side, and that really moves it, works it, and I'd come back and cover going perpendicular. That is to eliminate any side to side swirl marks You want to have a nice even finish, just like if you were sanding wood. You wouldn't want to sand the wood from the same direction over and over. It just is inviting swirl marks or other problems. There is going to be a little bit of leftover residue. That's totally normal. This compound is not water-based, so it's not all going to burn off. There's going to be a little bit of grease. That's totally fine. You're going to take a clean rag and just give it a wipe. Now, we're not sure how this is going to come out in the video. Amy, can you see a difference?
Perfect.
You should be able to see that this is a bit darker. The reason for that is that this side has the built-up oxidation. So over the years, just minerals, just hard water, anything you have, a little bit of dirt, if your hull sides are getting wet and cooking in the sun, and obviously the darker the color, the more it's going to cook, the hotter it's going to get, the faster it cooks, I should say. You are going to have those built-up minerals, calcium deposits. People call it everything, but that's what happens. What we're doing here is we're using this compound, which is like a liquid sandpaper, and we're just rubbing all that extra junk off, getting down to the gel. This isn't a harsh process. It's not like we're sanding through the gel coat and we're causing any damage. We're just polishing it. The gel coat is strong enough that we're staying on the top layer. If we see any white gel behind us, we're in trouble. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna take the camera just to try and show off a few angles here so we can see my sexy face in that reflection there. And as we go over here, there's a little less reflection. You should be able to see that amount of shine. And you can see all that junk just caked on there. We did wash these hull sides. You can see the drip marks. We just washed the hull sides before doing this video. But that is how you buff a boat. We're going to come back over this. There's a few spots that we're going to hit with a machine polish just to get a really, really high gloss. And then we're going to come back with our Meguiar's flagship wax. That's our preferred wax. Works great for good gel like this. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. And we're probably going to do a video up top of doing the superstructure just to show that too. Trevor Duke with First Mate Yacht Care.